I grew up in the environs of St. Edith's Hospital, and hockey was always very strong sport there. There was a senior club at the time. Became very much part of the community. You know, hockey, Gaelic, soccer, there was everything actually played in Portrane because of the huge staff in the hospital. And hockey certainly was one of the most popular of the sports, and it was a family thing, 5 or 6 families. So I was there from a very, very, very young age. I started playing in the 50s and finished up in the 80s. So I got through a few decades.
I'm talking about 50 years rather than 30 years. Well, I mean, I've been involved with Portrane. We played all sorts of sports, but it really came down to hockey was the main sport. I got involved in committees and Leinster branch, and particularly the coaching area. We hadn't got any coaching in St. Edith's really at that time. So we took over the coaching in the hall, and we had great success with lads. We had 8 lads going on to Leinster underage. So that really kept hockey alive to some extent at that time because we had very bad facilities.
It was always in our heart, in our heart, you know, as a family. The fact that it was formed by our grandfather, he was one of the co-founders. Plus as well, his 2 sons, Tommy and Andrew, our daddy, they played in the 40s, 50s, you know, and our uncle, particularly Uncle Tommy, he was president of the club for years and years and years, and then I started playing in '69, under 14, probably about 70, 71.
When I was a kid, we used to watch all the elder guys playing, and we started playing hockey ourselves, just on the sideline with sticks at 7, 8 years of age, and you know, it really took off from there.
It's kind of nearly in my blood. Everything sport-wise, hockey was my number 1 sport. As we were younger, we were always encouraged. This man always encouraged us to try different sports. Well, hockey was definitely the one that, I suppose it was bred into us, or bet, we don't know which.
James, that was my name. I've been involved since, I'd say, late 50s. See, my grandfather was from Wexford, and that colour of Wexford, grandfather must have taken onto this colour, you know, on the jersey.
Our granddad's granddad was one of the founders of the club. I think he was from Wexford. Wexford, I think he was Wexford, and that's where the colours came from. When instead of using purple and yellow, he used purple and white instead.
Things have changed slightly now compared to the one I'm wearing now. When this bad boy got wet, it was about 2 stone heavier. You had to lug this around the pitch. But I've had some unbelievable memories in this jersey.
It's something there that at a very young age was born and reared in Portrane, and hockey was synonymous with Portrane, with the hospital up there, and spending all of my youth probably up there across the year, summer and winter there. So it was hockey in the winter, soccer and GA and that in the summer. So yeah, it was meant everything, meant a huge amount.
There's a huge legacy there. You know, I'm actually from Raheny originally, so I was never really involved in a club like this. But there's generations of families playing in Portrane Hockey Club, and like grandchildren and their granddads are still coming down and presenting medals at award ceremonies and stuff like that. So it's a real legacy here in the community with Portrane Hockey Club.
It was fantastic over the years where different generations came up, whose fathers, as they retired, their sons came up and played. So for me, that's what it is. For me, it's the family element of the club. It's fantastic.
I remember playing with my own dad, subsequently playing with my own son, and the game coming down along the generations. My daughter played with the club as well for a reasonably short period of time, but there's always been a strong family presence and a very welcoming atmosphere for families within the club.
My first introduction to hockey was through my family. I'm from Lusk originally, and there's no hockey out there, and when people come up to talk to me and go, how do you play hockey? And the first thing I say, family. I'm actually the 4th generation to play. Dad played it, Grandad played it, his father played it as well, and I've a young fella over there, 6 months old, and hopefully he'll be the 5th generation.
It just came natural to them, you know.
It came natural to us. As we're being told, considering we had hockey sticks in our hands at the age of 3, so we'd no choice but it to come natural. Is that right?
You know, Portrane Hockey Club back in those days, teams didn't like to come out and play us. You know, we were out on a pitch in the north side of Dublin, overlooking the sea, great view, but at times the wind blew and the rain came in, and you know, horizontally, and you know, they just didn't like. We didn't fit, but at the same time, I suppose that's what really spurred us on.
With the hockey, we tended to kind of socialise with the teams we played against. So we'd invite them back to Keenan's pub here, or Smith's, or Luke in Portrane, and vice versa. They would, in the city, they would go back to their clubhouse, or if they hadn't got a clubhouse, to their pub. And we built up great friendships over the years. Even though when we played, we knocked the shit out of each other. But afterwards, we could have a drink and talk about it.
I was fortunate enough to play with such a great player as Paddy Neville, Dermot Kelly, and then going on through the years, players like Tom Conway. They were characters in their own way. Tom would have been famous for short corners. He had an unbelievable wallop of a ball, terrible strong wrists. Right up to, Adrian mentioned Devon Donnelly, and our present group of players, somebody like Chris Neville. His uncle David was an exceptionally good player. You had the Bournes, Tommy, and then Andrew, of course, and the families again. They were all very, very good players. Over the years, I'm glad to have met some tremendous people that have got to know through sport. And if I could tell you stories about some of the stories of the,
wouldn't be able to put it on the video.
Pascal and Adrian are really one of the main driving forces behind the club. Pascal particularly. He puts a huge amount of time and effort into the club. He gives Mukhtar and Imran free lodgings for 9 months of the year, drives them everywhere. So he's probably our main patron, I would say, is Pascal.
Peter Conway made a comment at the very start of my entry to the club that once there were Dutch people involved in a hockey club, you must be doing something right. So to me, he's a bit of a character.
When I started 10 years ago, Adrian asked me to help out, and that's what I did. He forgot to tell me I was the only one at the time. I wanted to be part of do more in the community, be part of a club. He asked me at the time, and I don't regret any minute of it. I really enjoy it.